Do me a favor, bro. Hold this L.
Hold this L.
Hold this L.
All right, welcome everybody to Hold This L. This is your host, Lonnie and Cappel. We are back. We're close to another season. This is the end of season 3. Season 4 will be starting in January. This may be our last show before we start season 4. And the reason why I say that is because, next week is Christmas and we got New Year's. I know I'm going to be out of town. I'm not sure, Lonnie, if you're going to be doing something, but we probably be back in season 4 in early January to kick off playoffs. Talk about getting to the meat of basketball, and talk about the fantasy football finals, because we both in the playoffs right now. Matter of fact, who you going against this week in the playoffs, line? Who you challenging?
If I remember correctly, it's you.
Yeah, they got messed up, man. They got us challenge each other in the first round. I hate it because I'd rather me and you hook up in the championship. That way, we both, one of us get first, one gets second. We both have a good season. We both leave with something. I hate that we play each other in the first round, but one of us gonna win, and it is from there. You win, I'm rooting for you to go through. If I win, I'm hoping that you're not gonna be salty towards me and hoping me to go through.
Better.
So
you know better. I'm rooting for you all the way. No, my thing is, if you want to, if we want to lay blame on anybody with us having to play each other in the first round, let's blame it on me. You did your job. I didn't do mine.
Yeah. Well, it's any man's game. It's one of those years where it ain't been like a clear runaway favorite. Everybody got good pieces, good matchups.
I will boast and say, y'all, I made the playoffs losing Derrick Henry. And AJ Brown. I want to put that out there. Yeah,
that was huge. That was definitely huge. Yeah. So give you props for that. But excuse me. It's winter season, y'all. I ain't got COVID. I'm good. It's just winter season.
Man, I've been having that cold in the throat too.
Exactly, especially early today.
Yeah.
Before we get to this sports, all right, listen, I'm gonna let you know right now. You might want to fast forward a good 3 minutes or 4 minutes if you don't want to hear this, because we're about to talk about Spider-Man. Yes, we're about to give some spoilers. It may be even more than 5 minutes. I would say go up 10 minutes and then slowly go backwards so you don't hear anything. But dude, I know you saw Spider-Man and I know you was waiting on me to see it. I saw it last night. I'm gonna let you I'm gonna let you talk. Just go. I'm gonna let you go first, because I know you've been dying to talk about this.
First of all, I've been literally dreaming about it because I've had nobody to talk to about it. Understand, when you see a movie that good and you can't tell nobody or talk to anybody about it, it's like gut-wrenching, bruh. And I told you before you saw it, it was 1B for me. And 1A was Endgame. And I meant that. Now, what I do want to hear before I go any further is what you felt on my take on putting it up that high.
So it was amazing. I don't know if it's my 1B. It is. I don't know if it's my 1B. I got to sit down and think about it, because Marvel has really put together some really good movies. It's like some of them I can clearly say, it's down at the bottom, even though it was really good. None of them are bad movies. It's just they all so good. Something got to be at the bottom. Right. It's up there, but I don't know if it's 1B, because of course Avengers Endgame, but Avengers the first one,
Infinity Wars,
that one was right there. The Guardians of the Galaxy, especially the second one, I love those. I love that collaboration. That last Thor was amazing. Black Panther, for sentimental reasons, was one of my favorites. So I gotta really really process.
It has so many oh my gosh moments. Even though we expected a lot of it, still to see it come to fruition.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. Right. It's amazing. Bro, right. Did you catch? Remember, me and you talked about this in the beginning. Of course, I was wrong, but I was kind of right. Didn't I tell you she was MJ? Michelle Jones Watson.
Oh, she is MJ. We all knew she was MJ.
No, I'm just saying, remember when I was saying in the very first in Homecoming, I was like, she's MJ, and you was like,
Oh,
nah. But I thought they had called her Mary. I thought her name was gonna be Mary Jane.
Yeah. Okay.
But they
I
truly
honestly
never
don't remember that conversation because that was a
Yeah,
long time ago.
no, because you was like, dude, you was like, I don't think her name was Mary. It was something else, and we ended up seeing it, and you was like, yeah, it was Michelle. But they never confirmed the Watson. Like they never confirmed the that part of it, and that just to me, it was just so many little moments throughout the movie that was like, how many times have you read that that Ned was gonna turn bad? Have you read about that?
Uh-uh.
The theories about Ned turning bad and Peter ended up having to kill him? Well, there's been theories about that. Well, if you remember in the movie, they referred to Peter Parker having to kill his best friend.
Yeah, I remember that in the movie. Yeah.
And then Ned was like, I'll never turn bad and kill you or whatever.
Well,
that wasn't just a reference to that part of the movie. These were things that people were expecting, thinking that may happen in that movie.
Yeah.
Because they were saying how Ned lost weight and did this and was doing that and different things. So it was so many little nuggets for me, brother.
I mean, those things, the doors open for those things to possibly happen because now we know Ned has he got some power in him, some magic in him, and he don't know Peter Parker no more. So who knows what's gonna happen in the future? The possibilities are endless. The way that they opened this up, one of the things that like the true fans of Marvel will recognize is the connection from Hawkeye to Spider-Man. And at the end of Hawkeye, the last one, episode 5, they introduced the Kingpin. What a lot of people don't realize is that blind man, Matt Murdock, that's Daredevil. and that's the same actor that played Daredevil. And the guy in the very small shot that they showed Kingpin, which wasn't even a live shot, it was a picture. Vincent D'Onofrio, same guy that played Kingpin in the Daredevil series on Netflix. So now they bring in the actors from the Marvel Netflix series into the MCU as far as the movies go. Dude, you know how excited I was when I saw Matt Murdock sitting there. And when he caught that, people who don't know who he is, when he caught that brick, people was just like, Of course, I had to explain it to my wife. You wonder like how he did it, but if you don't know who he is, then of course it's like you're just confused. But if you know who Matt Murdock is, you're like, Daredevil is coming into the movies now. Like, dude, so many things is going through.
Not only that, right now. I had to tell Jackie, I need you to understand something. He blind.
Yeah.
I said, baby, you saw that? What you don't know about him? Because she don't really know about Daredevil and stuff. I was like, babe, he's blind.
Yeah. I mean, and then I was like, and it was perfect connection because like if week 5, Hawkeye, Kingpin, Friday, Spider-Man come out, Daredevil. That's not an accident. It's not an accident. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Murdock make a cameo in the last Hawkeye. Wouldn't be surprised. Because Disney, they throw stuff at you and you don't know what's coming. Now, of course, if you go dig deep and do research, you could probably find out that an actor is part of the screening or something like that, or you can do that kind of stuff. But I don't like doing that because it's a spoiler. But I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Murdock makes a cameo in the last episode of Hawkeye next week. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. But that's a clear connection with Kingpin, Matt Murdock. But anyways, back to Spider-Man. It was a very well-written movie. It was funny. You had the feelings of nostalgia when the first Spider-Man came through the portal. Then Tobey Maguire came through the portal, and then they had them sentimental moments where they was like talking to each other, bonded. It was cool, man. That's what I like about Marvel movies. It's not just superheroes fighting crime and action. It has a plot. It got some drama they throw into it. The part where the second Spider-Man, Peter Parker 3, but he was like the second Spider-Man in the order. When he called MJ, it was like he was redeeming himself for not catching MJ. She died. It's like, man, they did a hell of a job. They did a hell of a job. I'm definitely gonna catch it again within the next couple of days.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you the part I was waiting for that I had read so much and I wanted to see if they were gonna do it. The web shooters. Like, did that just come out of your wrist?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
bro,
That
I
was
was
funny.
waiting on that.
He
He was like, where else does it come out anywhere else?
Exactly, and that was pretty funny. But enough about that. We could have a whole
Yeah,
podcast
bro.
about
Oh,
this. You
bro.
know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
bro.
But we got
Oh,
to move on.
we gonna
We got to
continue
move on.
this
Exactly. We
off
got to
the
move on
air.
to what y'all came to listen to, and that is some NFL, NBA, some sports action. We got a lot going on. You know, let's kick it off with the NFL and COVID and NBA, NFL, NBA, and COVID. It is really affecting the league right now, to a point to where, you know, some people are asking the question like, would it be a good idea, specifically in the NBA, to just kind of shut it down for a few weeks and bring it back? You know, in NFL, they got their protocols. In the NBA, you know, they have their G League team, so they're able to pull players and keep things going. But the NFL don't really have that, and they're having to cancel games. Like we have some games on Tuesday as a result of COVID and players, you know, in the protocols. So, like, what's your thoughts on everything that's going on? Do you think they need to make some adjustments?
I don't. Actually, I do think I did think they need to make some adjustments, but they already did, which is the good thing about it. One of the things is, you know, I'm sure you've heard there's a new strand of COVID.
The Omicron
that has recently come out. Well, that's what a lot of these players are testing positive for. But this is what they've noticed: the symptoms are very, very mild because most of these players, all these players are vaccinated. So, and a lot of these players, like for example, Odell Beckham, he's already coming back. He's off the COVID list. He'll be playing. I'm sorry, who else for the Rams? Jalen Ramsey's off the COVID list. Gerald Henderson's off the COVID list. Because they are all asymptomatic and they've changed the rules. So these guys that are vaccinated for the NFL now, they're not going to make them go through the protocols and they're not going to get tested as often anymore now. That's one of the things they've decided. But they've also decided that they basically what they've noticed is that with the guys, especially the guys that are vaccinated, I think they're overreacting to the test. So they've kind of adjusted and tweaked the health and safety protocols. So they said you will not have another week for the rest of the year where you have to postpone any games because they're kind of the guys that are unvaccinated are still going to have to get tested every single day. But the guys that are vaccinated, it's not going to be the same requirements. And what they're noticing is not only that a lot of these guys or most of these guys are asymptomatic, they're not contagious. It's a different strand that's not as strong as the other strands that's been out there. And they've noticed that and they've taken heed to that. And of course, player safety is the number one objective, but they're noticing that they're making players sit out and they're making players miss games and affect stuff and postponing games that they really don't have to, is what it all is boiling down to.
That makes a lot of sense. Kudos to the NFL. You know, it's player safety is number one, but we know that it's driven by money. So we're gonna go 1A, 1B. But what about the NBA? What do you think about their what's going on with them? Because you know, that's a different beast. They play every day, you know, and they got players who may play today and then 2 days later they, you know, can't play. And then, you know, as we have it right now, they had to cancel a few games. It's early. It's not even All-Star break.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think we'll have this issue going past into the next year. I think if you've noticed, the issue is spiked during the holidays. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. You know, you've got a lot more families getting together, a lot more people spending time together, and you're having these health and safety protocols. But because if you listen, they never say they have COVID all the time. It's just health and safety protocols, which means you've maybe been around some people or you've been outside the bubble again around people that's unvaccinated. So with those things, we don't really know. They've never really told us what the health and safety protocols are as to why they're making these guys sit.
Yeah.
Well, so have you been in contact? Are you actually testing positive for it? Like what's going on? And that's where I think after the holidays and stuff, we'll act, because if you remember at the beginning of October, you know, when the season first started, we weren't even hearing this stuff. Not to the extent of what we were hearing it after Thanksgiving, where a lot of these guys went and spent time with their families and things of that sort. So I think the holidays have a lot to do with the spike of what's going on in the NBA. But I think after Christmas, I think you'll see that kind of alleviate a little bit more.
Yeah, well, see, that's the issue, though. The issue is it's so widespread and rampant. We see that you've had a spike after Thanksgiving. Well, you have Christmas holidays mixed in with New Year's, so that's even more partying, going out, seeing family.
Right.
Well, if the spike hit with just Thanksgiving, it may take a turn for the worse during that time. And I wonder how prepared they are as far as a plan for if they have another spike, but it's like 2 times as worse.
Well, if I had to say
right now, like nobody's going to want to watch a bunch of games with just G League players if it affects half of the league. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But if I have to give credit to one league that has handled COVID amazingly, it's the NBA. Yeah. So I think they'll figure it out. I think they've handled it better than any other sport out there. So if anything, I think it could have been a good thing for them that spike happened right after Thanksgiving. Because now you kind of know what to do or how to alleviate coming into Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff, seeing what happened to put some more protocols and some more rules and regulations in. But if it is one league that I'm not worried about getting it together, it's the NBA. They proved to me from the bubble and on that they got something figured out and knowing how to kind of control this COVID thing. So I have total faith in the NBA. I don't think it'll affect them going forward.
What I would like to see is that you have to cancel so many games that you postpone it for about 3 weeks to maybe like the month of January, and then we can just focus on football because we still got playoffs, and then that way NBA will go all the way through maybe July. Because ain't gonna be no baseball.
Yeah, see, and
that's my selfishness, so I can have something to enjoy through the summer.
That probably got a lot to do with my answer too. It's definitely some bias in saying everything's gonna be okay with the NBA because I don't want it to go away. Of course, me and you are avid DFS players, so that kind of if the NBA go away for a month, I'm bored. Very, very. Well,
if it don't, that's why I say if it go away in January, we still got football. Like if it go away in January, we still got a good chunk of football to play DFS. Especially you love them showdowns. That ain't even my cup of tea, but you love them showdowns.
It's only on the weekends though.
I know. I
need every day.
But I'm thinking about baseball. Like, dude, it ain't gonna be no baseball season. Like all signs are pointing to no baseball. Because of the agreement and they just not coming to terms. So, like, if we had an extra month of basketball because we took one for the team in January, hey, I mean, you look back in July, you be like, yeah, I'm glad they canceled it for a month because right now we wouldn't have nothing. We'd just be sitting at home twiddling our fingers. But anyways, that's another story. You know what I'm saying? All in all, whatever decision the NBA makes, I think they're gonna handle it well, and I agree with you on that. So we do have football, and not just have football. We are in that playoff atmosphere. Things are getting really, really hectic. Who do you think are real contenders? Who do you think are really going to be like Super Bowl possibilities on both sides of the coin, NFL and NFC? But why you think I can go ahead and kind of spit out some of the top the top seeds, like New England, they're at the top of their division. Baltimore,
New England's
top of the division, but Buffalo is right behind them and 2 games behind.
I know, and
8-5, but Cleveland 7-6, Cincinnati 7-6, Pittsburgh 6-6. They like all right there.
I don't see nobody. Yeah, and that's.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you, man. Somebody.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, I can hear you now. Something went out. This technology is starting to really trip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah. But anyways, so go ahead. You started talking. Go ahead.
No, it's just difficult for me. The AFC, I don't see no clear favorite. I feel like anybody can come out of the AFC. Now, I mean, I still think Kansas City, I think it's a dangerous thing. I still think Kansas City is the top team right now. I think they're gaining momentum, which is not good for the rest of the league, because the last thing you want to see is one of the best teams in the contending Super Bowl champs to be gaining momentum toward the end of the year and finding their identity. I truly don't believe they had an identity for the first half of the season. They're figuring it out. You know, teams started playing them differently, and it took Andy Reid, who is a great coach, and we both knew. I think talking about this previous weeks ago, was Patrick Mahomes struggling? Yes, he was struggling, but I knew it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They were going to figure it out. It's just teams started playing them different, and it took them a couple of weeks to figure out how to adjust to that. So, I mean, I do love New England just because of Bill Belichick. I mean, it's Bill Belichick. And as long as he got a quarterback that's not making mistakes, Matt Jones is a rookie, and we know he's going to make mistakes, but he is also playing well. He's looked great. That defense looks amazing. And as long as you got a great defense, you're always going to compete. So, I mean, for me, to be honest with you, I will say this, the way Indianapolis looked last night was pretty impressive. And I'm not talking about the offensive side. I'm talking about the defensive side, and they got possibly the MVP of the league this year. So, I mean, Indianapolis, to me, is a very scary team because they can run the ball and they can play defense, and they have a great offensive line. So, I mean, those are my three top teams. I could possibly go with a fourth in Buffalo because I feel like Buffalo can turn it on. They are a better team, but I think they took a big hit losing Tre'Davious White for the year. I think that's going to hurt them a lot. But I don't, unless Baltimore can always, as long as they got Lamar Jackson, they got a chance. But really, my really contending teams, I would say, would be Kansas City, New England, and even Indianapolis. Even though I know that Tennessee is ahead of them right now, I just don't have a lot of faith in Tennessee with the injury situation and stuff.
Yeah. I like those options. Definitely Kansas City and New England. I call New England Kansas City. Of course, it depends on how things fall, but I'll call Kansas City, New England in the AFC Championship game. I got all the faith in the world in Bill Belichick. I like the way they playing, as well as Indianapolis played last night. New England was right there in the fourth quarter, with a 3-point lead. Losing by 3.
Right.
Mac Jones had one of his worst games of recent with 2 interceptions. But the game was right within their grasp, and that was after being down 20-0. I think they was down 20-0. So I definitely think New England is going to finish second in this conference. They're 9-5 right now. They have the second best record. I know they still have some tough matches ahead of them, but at the end of the day, if they can get past Buffalo, which they play them soon, they're in the AFC East. They got Miami and the New York Jets. You finish with your divisional teams. So I'm assuming, not looking at their schedule, I'm assuming that they have the Jets and Miami left. And if that's the case,
they're gonna win.
They're gonna finish second. They're gonna win the division, but they also will finish second, giving them that seed because of the new the rules or whatever. So
yeah, but the 2 seed don't do nothing for you. You still got to play.
Oh, that's right. The 2 seed don't, because they added that.
Unless you got the 1 seed, it don't matter.
But my point is saying,
but they can still get the 1 seed. To be honest with you.
Well, yeah, they could, but Kansas City rolling right now. But the reason why I said the 2 seed is because I for the most part, I believe Kansas City and New England end up being the AFC Championship. But if they're the 2 seed, they won't play New England. New England won't play Kansas City unless they're in the championship because of the way that the brackets work.
Right.
And outside of them, I like what you're saying about Indianapolis. But it's really, for me, it's just really hard because Baltimore falls within that. As long as Lamar Jackson is healthy, they got a good run off. They got a good running team. They play good defense. They're not the Baltimore of old, but they still have pretty good defense. Cincinnati could wake up any moment and the offense could just be hitting it. Their defense is not shabby either. Same thing with Cleveland. Why it's flipped for them. Their defense is really good. The offense is okay. Baker Mayfield, in Pittsburgh, they right there, 6-6. And then the Chargers, they're a beast.
I like how you said Baker Mayfield, And
because it's like last week he played pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But like, what we gonna see this week? You don't know what you're gonna get week to week. You're not gonna get greatness, but are you gonna see a game manager or somebody who just ain't come to play football? So you just don't know. But the Chargers, that to me, that's that third team. Like, I know you threw Indianapolis in there. To me, Chargers are that third team because they have a decent enough defense. They lack in some areas, but their offense is so potent.
It is. You know what I don't like about the Chargers? They can't run the ball.
They're short pass games with Austin Eckler.
But you know,
it's pretty much is their run game, and it's been effective all year. Like, nobody has been able to stop the Chargers. It's just the Chargers defense hasn't been as great as it used to be. You know, they used to have a really good defense, really good pieces, but nobody's really been able to stop the Chargers. But on to the NFC, this is where we have like a lot of tight, you know, like not really tight races in divisions, but we have some really top teams in each division, and you can't really just look at it as clear as you can look at the AFC. You know, I'm looking at Green Bay Packers. You know, say what you want about Aaron Rodgers, but at the end of the day, he always is right there at the top of the top of it. They 10-3.
What you gonna say about him except he's amazing?
Nah, people, you know, they say.
I know.
He's been in the news negatively all year. You know what I'm saying,
bro? You know it was rhetorical.
Yeah, but they 10-3.
Stuff to throw at him.
Yeah, but they 10-3, clearly right away with the division. Tampa Bay 10-3, clearly has run away with their division. Arizona is 10-3. Now they haven't run away with their division because the Rams are 9-4. And then San Francisco is in the playoff hunt at 7-6. So you really have like 4 teams that are like right there at the top where you can say championship contenders. And I know you might want to throw your team in there. They are a good team. But just based on the road that they have to go, they're clearly, in my opinion, behind those 4 teams. They're behind, you know, Green Bay. They're behind Tampa Bay. They're behind Arizona. They're behind the Rams.
I agree with you 100%.
They still got to go through the NFC West. You still got some matchups in that division. So
the good thing that's happening for the 49ers is we're playing good ball and we're getting healthy at the right time. That bodes well. We lost, you know, George Kittle was hurt at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. You know, Jimmy missed a game of injury. You know, we had a rotation of running backs out of this world. If when the 49ers, even missing Fred Warner, you know, we missing 2 of our DBs, but when they are playing well, if they can, it's for me, the 49ers are not one of my favorites. You know, they my team. They're not one of the favorites to win, but if they can get healthy at the right time, they have the team to do it. They're dangerous. They can beat any one of those teams we just talked about, but I'm not saying they're not better at this point in my mind. You know, right now, the most complete team in not in just the NFC, but the NFL is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I wouldn't have said that before last week when I saw how that defense played, you know, and they still don't have Antonio Brown, but with Gronk back, the way that defense is playing now, because that's their Achilles heel. We all know that. And that defense has been getting turnovers the last couple of weeks and playing well. If that keeps happening, I don't see anybody beating Tampa Bay. Now, the thing about Green Bay that people sleeping on, Green Bay, first of all, they're killing it, and they're not even completely healthy yet. They're missing their number 1 corner, which will be coming back soon. They will be very much more complete team. And if you've been watching them, having Randall Cobb, even, you know, he can be a boom or bust. But what's the number 2 receiver? Oh boy, he looked pretty good this year. Lazard them can make some plays when you need them to make plays. And Aaron Rodgers, you know what they say about great quarterbacks. They can always make receivers look better. Well, they're serviceable for him to go along with Randall Cobb and everything. So to me, Green Bay, and they got that running game, that 2-headed monster with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And that's what scares me. Like, to me, Green Bay and Tampa Bay are the 2 most complete teams. If you had to ask me right now who I had to put my money on being in the NFC Championship, it would be them 2. It would be Tampa Bay against Green Bay for me.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not gonna make a pick just yet on who I think are the 2 teams in the NFC Championship.
No, I'm just saying as of right now, that's who I would say. If you had to make me say it right now. But I don't think there'll be the 2 in there. But if I had to say right now.
Yeah, I feel that. And for me, this is the thing. I don't believe that those are the 2 most complete. I believe that they're equally complete with Arizona and Atlanta. I mean, and Los Angeles Rams. Tampa Bay is really good on both sides of the ball. They're better on defense this year. They got better over the year. So I can't say that their weakness is their defense is a weakness, but you can still really put up points on them in the passing game. But it doesn't make them not a complete team. When you compare them to Green Bay actually has a better defense statistically than them, but they don't have the weapons. But when you look at Arizona, people still sleep on Arizona. Arizona went 2-0 with Colt McCoy, playing against teams that was at full strength. And in a couple of those games, one of those games he won pretty convincingly. Their defense is playing really good. One of the top defenses in the league. And now they're trying to get healthy. They got Kyler Murray back. They're getting Chase Edmonds back this week. James Conner's a little banged up, but he's playing. And then they're gonna make the smart decision to rest Hopkins for the remainder of the year because they realize that they're gonna need him at the end and they're gonna make the playoffs. So when the playoffs hit, if Hopkins is healthy, then that's a wrap for everybody.
Well, that's why I said
not everybody.
And that was the team I was talking about when I said if you had to pick right now. The reason I didn't mention them is because they're not healthy right now. But I'm gonna tell you, you pointed out exactly what I was gonna say. They set DeAndre Hopkins they set him because they don't need him to win.
So we're gonna have to take a pause real quick, because something's wrong with my battery. It's just saying that it's low, it's plugged up and charging and everything. Give me just a second. Keep talking. Keep talking to the people.
No, but like I say, I mean, for me, the only reason I think Arizona is the best team. But right now, they're not at full strength. That's the only reason I said if I had to pick right now. But I want to be clear, y'all. Arizona is something serious. Arizona, he had to step away for a moment. I'm going to keep it going. Arizona is probably, in my opinion.
We apologize for the delay. I had some computer issues. Battery died. Don't know how it's plugged up, but everything back working now. We all good. But let's get back to where we were. We're talking about NFC, wrapping things up real quick before we move into fire and smoke. Notice I didn't say Dallas Cowboys, even though they're 9-4. I just don't like the vibe that they give. They're too inconsistent. They're playing in a weak division. And while they're going to make the playoffs inevitably, they're playing well enough to do that. They're probably going to win the division. I don't think they're going to go far. So they're definitely not a contender for me. Is there anything you want to add in reference to Dallas Cowboys?
Nope. I was very high on them a couple of weeks ago. I eat all them words. I'm done. I don't even know. The Dak Prescott is looking like Dak Prescott again. So no, I have nothing to say about the Cowboys except Michael Parsons is a freaking monster. Big kudos to that dude. That dude is a freaking monster. If they do have a chance of doing anything, maybe defensive player of the year. If they have a chance of doing anything, it'll be because of that dude.
Yeah. So fire smoke. Kyrie to Brooklyn. Now we know not to Brooklyn, but Kyrie coming back. We know that he's only going to be playing away games. Fire smoke. Is this going to be a huge distraction, or it's just going to be something that has no issues and it's just going to, go like fit in smoothly?
Straight smoke. It is not going to be a distraction at all. The distraction was him not being there.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Him coming back and at least playing half the games, that's actually a win for him. So to me, it's not even a distraction. And if anybody know anything about Kyrie Irving, it's not like you're finna get much out of him or he's finna talk about it a whole lot. He don't like the media anyway. So, I mean, to me, no, he just coming back to help his team. And I just think he want to play basketball. He missed basketball. And it's a way for him to not look completely like a jerk and look like he didn't take his stance, but still come back. Something behind closed doors was agreed upon that we don't know about.
Hey, this is, for me, a straight fire. And this is why. Him not playing was never his choice. It was being vaccinated is the reason why he wasn't playing. Right. That was the reason why. And for him playing in New York, remember, New York has different rules, different laws. So they say that in New York, for you to work, you have to be vaccinated. So the Nets said you couldn't play because the option for him to play games away was always there as long as it wasn't in New York. So the Nets are the ones that decided to kind of bend a little. His stance has not changed at all. The reason why this is fire to me is, can you imagine having your player, having Kyrie for one game and then not having him for the next because it's away? You got to use totally different personnel. You talk about trying to gel and get things. That's one of the issues they had last year, is they didn't play enough together to really have a cohesive team to be ready for the playoffs. And then they end up having injuries. So they still have never really had that opportunity. And now, even though he's coming back, you're still not going to play every day with each other because you can only play away games. Hey, I mean, we don't know how it's gonna go, but I think this is a serious situation. While on the surface it looks good for Kyrie, I mean, consistency is a big deal when you're talking about a team, and having a very vital piece of your team not there from day to day in games. I don't know, man. I could see this being something that's not as good as everybody thinks it is. So for me, it's fire, but I do understand why you say it's smoke. Only time will tell, and we'll see in a few months how things going. Westbrook. Is Westbrook a good fit? Is this all fire? Is this all smoke with people blaming Westbrook, saying he's not a good fit, or is it more fire that he's not really a good fit? What's your thoughts?
I think it's smoke. I think it's completely smoke. We've seen they can play well together. They've shown flashes of it. It's not a secret. The problem with the Lakers is AD ain't playing like AD, and they're not completely healthy yet. People overreact so much. We're not even halfway through the season, people. I mean, they could easily go on a 20-game run, and everybody will be saying they're the best team in the league. I mean, and AD's out for a month now, which lets me know he's not been healthy. We've clearly seen by his play and his numbers that he didn't look healthy. Now we know he's not, and he just hurt. I think he just hurt something that was already lingering. The MCL sprain, he was already having issues with his leg. He was just playing through it. That's all that happened with that, because if you saw the play where he got hurt, nothing really happened. So, I mean, I think he's been dealing with that. So I don't think the problem has ever been Russell Westbrook. If you look at the Lakers since Anthony Davis been there, he's not putting up Anthony Davis numbers that he has the first couple of years. So it's not, everybody want to put it on Westbrook because he's that piece with the big name that came in that everybody said wouldn't fit. And now it's looking like, oh my God, he doesn't fit. No, everybody's just not. LeBron has missed half the season. AD's not playing up to AD standards. And they're still 500 with them saying how horrible Russell Westbrook is on top of that.
Yeah, I agree. All smoke. It's the Lakers team. It's not Westbrook. It's just the team dynamic. They got a lot to do with it. Not being healthy got a lot to do with it. So I'm 100% on board with what you said. And yeah, by the end of the day, we gonna by the end of the season, people I believe gonna have a different outlook, because that's how it goes. It's what you see now is what people focus on. They can't focus on what can happen later on. So 100% accurate. All right, let's hit up our fantasy picks real quick for week 16. So for quarterbacks, I got Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford. The Lions have, I mean, not the Lions. I always want to say that, with Matthew Stafford, he is not a Lion anymore. But he has a great matchup this week, and I'm trying to see who he plays. But he has a great matchup this week 16, and so does Jalen Hurts. I think they're going to have the opportunity to really, really kill it. Jalen Hurts, while he's not the best quarterback in real life, he definitely is a fantasy stud because he gets points with his legs. And when garbage time, but a lot of times he puts up big points simply because he has to throw the ball. So he's definitely an option. And of course, Matthew Stafford with the Rams, they have a great matchup as well. And I think that they are going to do what they have to do. Go ahead. What you got?
My week 16 quarterbacks is going to be Tom Brady. I mean, the obvious playing against the Panthers. And my other pick is going to be Ben Roethlisberger against the Chiefs.
Those are two good picks. For me, my running backs, James Robinson and Cordero Patterson. James Robinson has a good matchup against the Jets, and we'll see what he does today against the Texans. But my belief is that the next couple of weeks he's going to be the offense. Urban Meyer's gone, and everybody is all in the news about James Robinson and what Trevor Lawrence said and what he expects, and what now with the coaches, the interim coaches come out and said as well. So James Robinson, definitely a good pick for me. And Cordero Patterson against the Lions, no brainer. Don't even have to go an explanation there. What you got?
Same too.
Okay.
The exact same too.
Yeah, those are
for the exact same reasons
picks
you just named. Those were literally my two picks. If you don't have them two in your lineup this coming week, you probably not gonna win any money unless you just try to go against the field, because they will be chalk.
Yeah, they will. Chargers, Keenan Allen against the Texans. Keenan Allen has been playing out of his mind. He had a great game against the Chiefs the other day, and they're playing against the Texans week 16. I think he is going to have another great day. And OBJ just getting warmed up with the Rams. Just getting warmed up. While Cooper Kupp not losing no production, OBJ is getting more comfortable. Got to remember, this was just his third game, with the Rams, and this will be his fifth game. And they have a good matchup against Minnesota, who actually has a pretty good offense. They can pull the ball down the field. I can see this being a shootout. I can see this being a game where Cooper Kupp murders it and OBJ murders it. But OBJ is at a discount. This is why I think he's a great play.
Right. My two receivers is going to be Jamar Chase. I love Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith. Jamar Chase against the Ravens. If anybody ain't been paying attention, the Ravens' whole defensive secondary they just lost Marlon Humphreys too. The whole secondary is hurt. Yeah. So I think Jamar Chase this could be one of them 100-yard, 2-touchdown games for him. He gonna eat them alive. And for me, Devontae Smith against the Giants. Well, I don't think I need to say much else. Like I say, like you said about Jalen Hurts pointing him out earlier, being a great matchup, he got to throw to somebody, and we know who his favorite receiver is, and nobody on the Giants team is going to be able to guard Devontae Smith.
Yeah. And my one tight end, Kyle Pitts, same reason I like Cordero Patterson against the Lions. Kyle Pitts is their offense when it comes to receiving next to Cordero Patterson. And I think that he should have a really good game. He's a little priced down because he haven't been having good games lately. So this may be a nice spot for him to play really well at a little bit of a discounted price.
Yeah, this is a Pat Fryer move game for me.
Yeah,
against the Chiefs. I love that he's going to be at a discounted price. He's going to be one of the cheaper tight ends, and I mean we've seen what he can do, and against the Chiefs defense. That is not very good. I think they're like bottom 3 in the league against tight ends. They are horrible against them. So, I like Pat Fryer move going into that game.
And my L for the week, initially we talked about the L's, me and you did privately, and I said it was going to be Urban Meyer. But you know what? You can give Urban Meyer. My L for the week is going to be the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That soundbite that he gave earlier when they hired Urban Meyer, when he said, I think we got it right this time. That has been going viral. It's been everywhere. And I just remembered as we were doing this podcast that he said that with Urban Meyer's history, you should have never said we got it right this time just because he was a winner in the college. He had a questionable character as a coach throughout his history. Pull the receipts. Look what he did at Ohio State. Look at Florida. And I even think before that, he had an issue with another school, a smaller school. He's had issues everywhere he's gone. That right there should have been enough for you to think that this may be a possibility. Should it have been the reason? Should it have determined why you hired him? No. Maybe because he's in the pros. He's not coaching college students. He's looked at it a little differently when you're coaching college students compared to NFL players who are actually working for money. No, you still hire him and hope for the best. But you came by and said, we got it right this time after you have got it wrong so many times. And boy, did you get it wrong. So you got to hold this L. And I don't even remember your name, man. Whatever your name is, Jacksonville Jaguars owner, hold this L.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely, you already know it's a trickle-down effect. I'm going to Urban Meyer. And not only because of all the dumb stuff he did and how horrible of a coach he was, I'm going with the fact that I have never seen a coach, and this is the reason he's getting my L. I've never seen a coach in my life. His name is Shahid Khan, is the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes. Just put it out there. But I've never seen a coach ever on the college or NFL level. I don't even think I've seen it in high school. Blame the players and everybody around him for the reason they failed and don't take no blame. Like, none of this is my fault. They all did it. I put the plan together. I put everything together the perfect way. My players just don't execute. Like, I've never seen a coach throw their players under the bus. He kicked. The final straw was you kicked the kicker? What the hell is wrong with you? You kicked The kicker, did he miss a field goal or something? Bro. Urban Meyer, hold his L. Anybody who ever gives him a coaching job again in the NFL or even thinks about it, and I don't mean head coaching job, I mean coaching job, period. I mean athletic trainer. I mean ball boy. You gonna hold his L too. Y'all all, you just, there's no words for how horribly this Urban Meyer experience went. So yes, he has to owe this L along with Michael Rappaport, and that's all I got. Because I can go on and on about Urban Meyer and how ignorant he is as a coach. Definitely hold his L, bro.
Yeah. So definitely both of them need to hold his L. And that's all we got for today. Before we go, I'm calling it Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson will murder it today against the Houston Texans. I got huge stakes in that game, and I believe that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a game for his career, even though it's a young one. Best game of his career today. Mark my words, week 15 against the Texans. That's all we got. This is Hold This L. I am Cappel.
And I'm Lonnie.
Please like, subscribe. Thank you for dealing with us. We know we've been kind of skipping out and missing some shows, but we've been having some things going on. But we appreciate y'all for showing up and listening. Share with your family and friends. Definitely. And that's all we got. Y'all have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Peace.
Peace.